Alright, so hopefully you took some time to try these on your own. Go ahead and check your answers. Just a few things to point out here. Right before I finished both of these, they ended up simplifying down to positive numbers. So it's just noticing, do you have one negative in your fraction and it stays negative, or do you have two and they simplify down? So just be aware of that when you're doing this. So maybe pause the video and look at the work I did if you got something different, or talk to your partner at your table to help figure out anything you're unsure of. Alright, so take a moment to write these steps down to find the vertex. And so we're going to to find the vertex without a graph, we're going to have to find the axis of symmetry, which is using this formula we just went over. And once we have this x value of the axis of symmetry, we'll plug that x back into our quadratic function. And then you're always going to write your vertex as an ordered pair. It's an x, y value because it's referring to one point on the graph, whereas the axis of symmetry is referring to one imaginary line at that midline of the parabola. So take a second, pause the video, and write these down. Alright, so I'm going to run you through some examples here. So we're going to find the vertex of each parabola. So here's our first quadratic, y equals 5x squared minus 10x plus 3. Always note if something is in standard form or not. Very important. All the examples I'm going to start out with you will be in standard form initially. Okay, so A is 5, B is negative 10, and C is 3. You might be wondering why I keep noting C when the formula doesn't call for a C. In a future section we will need to use this C value and it will mean something to us, so just getting us in the habit now. The first step was find the axis of symmetry. We can do that. X equals negative B over 2A. Negative from the formula, plugging in for the B, which is negative 10. 2 times A, which is 5. Negative, negative, make it a positive 10 over 2 times 5 is 10. So now we get down to our axis of symmetry, just a little abbreviation, being positive 1. So that's step 1. Now it says, plug in x for the quadratic function. Well, we have an x value here. We're going to plug it in and see what we get for our y value. 5 times, all right, we're plugging in 1 now. 1 squared minus 10 times 1 plus 3. Just replacing every x value with what we know now. 5 times 1 squared, well, 1 squared is 1. So that's going to stay 5. 10 times 1 plus 3. And remember, when you have this order of operations happening, you want to make sure you go left to right when it's just addition and subtraction remaining. You do need to deal with this multiplication and exponent first. So 5 minus 10 is negative 5 plus 3. And now we're going to get the y is negative 2. So remember, this whole time, I should have done this, my bad, was keeping that you're finding y. So y is negative 2. Alright, so now we have an x value and a y value. Write the vertex as an ordered pair. So your vertex is going to be 1, negative 2. Final answer, right there. Okay? Pause this if you need to get caught up on writing. I'm going to start moving on to example 2 for this. Okay, for example 2, starting off the same way we did here. A equals 1, B equals negative 4, and C equals negative 5. Alright, so first things first, we found our axis of symmetry. X equals negative B over 2A. So B, right, from our formula is negative 4. I don't know why I did that, sorry. And 2 times A is 1. Alright, negative, negative, positive. 2 times 1 is 2. This comes out to the axis of symmetry, being x equals 2. Okay? Then what we did at the end was we plugged x back in to find our y value. So y equals 2 squared, because I'm plugging 2 in for x now, minus 4 times 2 minus 5. 2 squared is 4. Make a note for yourself that you're doing PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, boom, multiplication, right here, minus 8, minus 5. Division, addition, subtraction. Now addition, subtraction, just that's the only operations remaining. We go in order left to right. 4 minus 8 is negative 4, minus 5, and you get negative 9. So that's your y value. Once again, track that y value down the whole way. Alright, so now we're going to write as a full ordered pair, and that's how you find your vertex. 2, negative 9, pulling the 2 value from the x value from the 2 that we found for axis of symmetry, and then the y value comes from plugging in the axis of symmetry, just following those same 3 steps every time. Alright, so now I would like you to try these two on your own. Remember to list A, B, and C out first. And we are allowed to miss B or C. Occasionally a vertex quadratic in standard form will be missing something. This is A equals 1, because you do have an x squared term there. B, you have no x to the first power term down here, so that's just 0. And C is negative 2, because C is always your constant. So now I've given you A, B, and C. I want you to follow these steps, and then the next video will have the answers, but please try this on your own first and get all the way through to your vertex. Follow these 3 steps you wrote down earlier.